And hello and welcome to our look back at the Intermediate Camogie Championship. Yeah, we are looking back. Of course, it is a big night with the All-Stars, but we have to reflect on what was, a resounding success for Down as they claimed the intermediate title. They've been knocking on that door for the last couple of years. And Valerie, you'd have to say all credit to Derek Dunn and his crew to get it over the line. A fabulous performance. Yeah,
a fabulous performance. And I think, on the day, I think that some people were rooting for him. I think a lot of people were rooting for him. I think the first time in 20 years that they've had an opportunity to maybe jump up to that senior level, and they got confirmation that their request of the upgrade, had been successful. And I think for players and for them to be rewarded as well for how well they played last year, I think that's really important, because I think if Down were to stay in that intermediate grade, where would the development or the learning come? And when you're playing, you probably want to play against the best. And I think they've every chance. And I know it's a challenge for them being up in the senior grade, but I think it's a challenge that they really want to, welcome with open arms. They expressed interest in a lot of interviews after they'd won about how they wanted to be senior. It sparked a lot of debate online how they wanted to be senior. And it's just great. It's great for them. It's great for the county. It's great that they were awarded. And as I said, it's going to be a challenge, but they're really up for it.
Yeah, really up for it. Anne-Marie, Down again have been a team, as we said, thereabouts in the last few years. They were really impressive in this championship. Again, a championship that had to be abridged a little bit, but Down made the most of it and were, I have to say, in all four games that we would have seen them play, were very impressive throughout them all.
Yeah, Down, they were incredible throughout the championship. They will actually be the first Ulster team to be in the senior championship since 2012, so that's a massive achievement in itself. But, they had some really standout performers. Niamh Mallon was fantastic, the Carr sisters. They wanted to win from the get-go. You could see it in all of their results. They racked up 115, 213, 14 points, and then in the final racking up that 416. On the day, I think they couldn't have told anyone else we want to be senior. Yeah,
but it was just everything about their application since I would have seen them in 2018 when they got to an All-Ireland final and how they felt losing to Cork, then the heartbreak of losing to Westmeath, who subsequently go on and win the intermediate title. That this year, knowing what we've got to see from the Cars, from Paul O'Hagan and Niamh Mallon and others, that this was something that they were going to ensure we was going to get across the line this year.
Yeah, Killian, I know in particular the last 3 years have been very, very difficult for Down. But, they're going to reap the rewards now. They're going to get that crack at the senior title. They're going to be playing, in the intermediate grade, they would have been playing, Galway, Kilkenny, Cork, all the second teams. And now they have the opportunity to play Kilkenny's first team, the All-Ireland champions, Cork, the All-Ireland semi-finalists, Galway, the All-Ireland finalists. So it's going to be a really, really exciting year for them this year.
Let's also make mention of some of the other teams that obviously were involved. The team that they played in the final, Valerie, Anne-Marie, whichever you want to take up on this, Antrim, a young team, so it looks like they're going to be around for a while to come, and a series probably putting themselves their hand up again for the intermediate role next year.
Yeah, I definitely think so as well, Killian. I think, we see it all the time, even in the senior grade with Kilkenny. They've been, year after year after year heartbreak, and they keep coming back every year. And that just shows the resilience as part of the team. And I've no doubt that Antrim, as you said, they're such a young team that, they'll be able to bounce back from a loss like that. And they'll be, they'll probably be wanting to get there again. And they'll be like, why didn't we win? And they will look back on maybe what they did wrong or how to work on it. And they've had, I know it's difficult during COVID as well, because they mightn't get the opportunity to work on all those things as much as they'd like to. But I think that everyone's going to be in the same boat. And I think it's great, though. In a way, I thought that COVID, really excited Camogie a small bit, because we knew what nobody were going to be playing like. We knew what no team was coming in, what way they were coming into a game, because it was so new to us all that we hadn't seen them train, we hadn't seen them in league games, we hadn't seen them much throughout the year. So for them all to come in and for all, to show us what they were capable of doing. So I've no doubt that Antrim will be back thereabouts.
Yeah, Antrim and Marie, you got to see them in the semi-final. I remember at close quarters, Maeve Kelly was probably one of the standout performers of the whole championship.
Yeah, it was very interesting actually. We gave Maeve Kelly the Player of the Match award in the semi-final against Laois. But talking to her after the game, she said it was the first time in a number of years where players had actually opted in for the county squad, that the club scene is so competitive in Antrim that because the club scene was finished, everyone could actually turn their focuses to lining out for Antrim. So that was quite interesting, of course, that the COVID world had strengthened Antrim, while for other counties it had actually weakened it. But yeah, Maeve Kelly, 19 years of age, she's nominated as Player of the Year alongside Niamh Mallon and Sarah Louise Graffin. A phenomenal player, just looks so effortless and natural. She plays at the right wing forward position and she can just solo and pop the ball over the bar with ease.
Yeah, well, she's definitely someone to keep an eye on in the Intermediate Championship in the coming year. Let's just then wrap things up by looking at our key moments. This was a championship, as we said, because maybe there was an awful lot put down. There's probably going to be a number of moments around them, but we had a bit of drama in some of the earlier rounds as well. Anne-Marie, I'll come to you first. Your key moment?
Yeah, I kind of struggle to pick my key moment. I have two. The invisible battle between Maeve Kelly and Niamh Mallon would be one of those within the All-Ireland final. They were both the key players for both sides and the key goal getters and scorers. And no matter what Niamh Mallon scored, Maeve Kelly tried to answer her. Of course, we do know that Niamh Mallon ran away with a higher total than Maeve, but it was just interesting to see the battle of the forwards. It's usually the battle of a back and a forward, but they both contested for their sides. And then the other moment that I had that really stood out to me was Clodagh Tynan's free of Laois against Kerry in the All-Ireland quarter-final. It was a phenomenal game. We were at it in the Rag, where Laois really didn't play for 40 or 50 minutes of the game, turned the game on its head, and then there was a 60-metre free in the last minute or two just to level the game, and Clodagh Tynan, who's a youngster, she's only maybe 19 or 20 years of age, stood up, hit a 60-yard free, you wouldn't see a man do it, and put the ball over the bar, and all of a sudden it was extra time and Laois went on to win the game. So I know ourselves with the streaming company, we were looking at each other like, wow, what a game, what a finish. So it just really still has stood to me.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I'm glad that you, as an Offaly woman, that you picked out a Laois score there as well. I'm happy enough with that. Valerie, looking at your key moment, again, in a fantastic championship.
I'm kind of picking a key player rather than a key moment, but I'm picking Niamh Mallon. I know that Anne-Marie touched on her there, and I just think that out of 4 games that I've kind of seen and watched her in, she had 4 goals and 14 points from play in those 4 games alone, and that is a crazy stat, and no one ever seems to, we should be shouting that from the rooftops, because 4 goals and 14 points in play in 4 games is absolutely crazy. Like, you wouldn't, as you said, Anne-Marie, like you wouldn't see it in some senior games, and it's just, these kind of, I suppose, these stats and these players need to be celebrated, and I think something like that is great. And I know that Niamh, she works in Galway, so I think that she was situated at home a lot of the time this year. So I know maybe not those travelling probably allowed her some time to be at home, because travelling up and down to training I think must have been a nightmare, but COVID allowed her to probably, the time she probably would have spent in the car, now she probably was able to give it a bit more to Camogie. But I think just, I read a piece with her as well recently in January, and she said she was really enjoying the break, and rightly so.
Yeah. Well, fair play to Niamh Mallon. She definitely was one of the standout performers. There's no doubt about it in that championship. Definitely stood out for me as well. I think before we go on, this is not all about Down, but I think we have to make special mention for Fionnuala Carr. What a servant to the art of Camogie and everything, and has been around with Down through some of the good days, bad days, and now the good days again. And a fantastic achievement for her. I think she would be definitely my key person or key moment of this championship as well.
Yeah, I think she's gone out in a high as well, Killian, which is always nice, she's there since she was 17 years of age, and I don't know, like another person that retired, we'll chat about him later on, but like to give that many years to Camogie is just, it's amazing. I couldn't give 6 months when I was younger because I was so bad, but to see someone like Fionnuala going years and years and years and giving it her all, and you know what, it's great to see her get rewarded at the end of the day, and for her to go out on a high is really nice as well.
Yeah, for There's no doubt about it. Well, that's the look back then at the Intermediate Championship. Cogordagus to Undune, they were crowned the All-Ireland champions. With my thanks to Anne-Marie Guinan of Offaly Camogie, and of course match analyst, and Valerie Wheeler, sports broadcaster, presenter and IMRO award winner. I've been Killian Whelan. We'll talk to you soon.